The storm had not been forecasted. On the frigid night of December 7, 1971, a private Learjet 23 sliced through the bitter sky above Lake Champlain, departing from Burlington, Vermont, bound for Providence. Aboard were 5 men, 4 prominent businessmen and the pilot Douglas Ray, a seasoned flyer with over a decade of flawless service. Eyewitnesses later recounted a sharp descent, a flash of white light, then nothing. No crash site, no wreckage, no bodies, only the echo of wind over the lake, whispering of a tragedy swallowed whole. The official report labeled it presumed accident, cause unknown. Unofficially, it was called the lake's debt. For those who lived near the shoreline, the lake had always taken, but never given back. When Dr. Marissa Lowe, an underwater archaeologist from the University of Vermont, led her team onto the lake in June of 2024, she wasn't searching for ghosts, only history. Her sonar equipment, newly funded, was meant to map the submerged colonial trade routes. But what they found, hidden beneath 200 feet of opaque green-black water, was no merchant vessel. The aircraft lay eerily intact, tail first in the silt. The fuselage was undisturbed, untouched by time or teeth of rust, as if it had only just touched down, gently. When her divers descended, something odd happened. Communication distorted, voices echoed, some didn't belong to anyone on the team. One diver, Paul, surfaced early, shaking, his face pale as frost. "Paul, there was someone in the cockpit. I swear to God I saw him move." Recovered a week later, the aircraft's flight data recorder was corroded but partially salvageable. A small miracle. Analysts spent sleepless nights extracting fragments of audio. At first, only static. Then a voice, clipped, panicked. We're not where we should be. There's no ground beneath us. It's all eyes. Jesus, the lake has eyes." And then, a long, shrill wail, cut short. The final sound, a deep, gurgling hum, rhythmic, not mechanical, not natural, living. Marissa became obsessed. She pored over old Champlain Valley archives, scanning forgotten microfilms and yellowed obituaries. There were patterns. 1836. A schooner vanishes with 12 souls aboard, last seen drifting toward the lake's center under a full moon. 1909. A fishing boat discovered floating empty, nets shredded, deck slick with something black and tar-like, smelling of sulfur and decay. 1933. A child pulled from the lake, hysterical. The water watches. The water waits. They had all vanished in the same vicinity, the same depth. A month after the plane's discovery, strange things began happening in Burlington. Lakefront homes reported electrical disturbances. Dogs refused to approach the shoreline, and in the dead of night, some residents claimed they could hear engines overhead, though the sky was clear and silent. Marissa herself began recording dreams. A cabin submerged in murky water, men suspended in their seats, not bloated or decomposed, but staring forward, mouths agape as if screaming, still alive. One dream, recurrent, showed the cockpit, only now the pilot's head was slowly turning toward her, his eyes gone, water leaking from his nose. She stopped sleeping altogether. Driven by something she couldn't explain, Marissa returned to the wreck with a new team, insisting on one last dive. As she descended, the lake seemed thicker. The light from above dimmed unnaturally fast. Her ears popped, then rang with a high-pitched frequency, almost like a voice too high to perceive directly. When she reached the wreck, the plane's cabin light flickered on. It was never wired to any power source. Inside, the 5 passengers sat, dry, preserved, their faces slack, pale, and yet alert. Their eyes were open, and they were watching her. What happened next is a matter of debate. Some say Marissa never resurfaced. Others say she came back screaming, unable to form a coherent sentence, and now resides in a psychiatric facility where she draws the same image over and over. A spiral of eyes beneath water at the lake's deepest point. The footage from that last dive was confiscated by the state. Her crew signed non-disclosure agreements and vanished from public life. But now, every few months, another report emerges. A swimmer pulled under in perfect weather. A boat capsized without a wave. And always, just before it happens, someone hears the soft hum of a jet engine circling above a still and silent lake. The last recovered audio clip from the 1971 flight, unearthed just weeks ago, was analyzed by audio forensics, slowed down, cleaned up, and run through enhancement software. What they heard wasn't English, it was something older, wet, sounding, guttural, rhythmic, like a chant not made by human mouths. But layered underneath, as if trying to break through static, was a human voice. It was the pilot, faint, whispering. "We were called. We answered. Don't bring them up. Let them sleep." They say Lake Champlain is over 400 feet deep in some places, deeper than it should be, older than the maps show, older than memory, and some things, when taken, should stay taken because the lake doesn't forget. It waits, and sometimes when it's hungry, it remembers.